All right, let's switch gears now and talk a bit about everything going on in the world of TikTok. And we'll talk first about the company's CEO, Kevin Mayer, stepping down as the company's CEO. And Melody, the statement made it seem very clear that when Mayer took this job, he did not think it was going to be a government relations type job, which I guess was surprising just in the sense that we could have all seen coming some sort of political imbroglio involving TikTok, and Mayer seems surprised that that is what his job was going to require, and so left it on that basis.
Yeah, and it also feels very short-sighted, right? To even if you don't think the full extent of your role will be government relations, at the same time, if your parent company is based in Beijing and you understand the ongoing U.S.-China trade tensions and a lot of the embattled sort of rhetoric that's been being tossed back and forth, that should have been sort of part of the job description, maybe the first bullet point when Kevin was interviewed for this role. And I do want to point out that Vanessa Pappas, who was the US GM of TikTok, she's stepping up as the interim head of TikTok. I want to clarify that TikTok's spokespeople had responded to a comment last night upon this news of Kevin Mayer's departure. And when I asked, so Vanessa is going to become the interim CEO, they made clear that she is not being the interim CEO, and there's no plans to actually replace that CEO role, kind of further igniting this discussion that ultimately TikTok will be purchased, right? That seems to be the direction this is all heading in. Of course, CNBC reporting that even within 48 hours, the Microsoft potential acquisition could be happening. I do want to say this Microsoft-Walmart tie-up is particularly interesting for many reasons, but among them, I want to point out that the founder of ByteDance is actually a former Microsoft employee, and he previously was very disgruntled at Microsoft's corporate structure, and therefore he wanted to dabble in the startup industry and ended up founding ByteDance. So that's one important point to note. So I'm not really sure how this sort of transaction would play out if there is that sort of strong sentiment about the way that Microsoft is operating. Second point here is we know that both the CEOs of Microsoft and Walmart have been vocal against Donald Trump and some of his actions. Walmart, it was more in the gun and political realm. Satya Nadella, he hadn't been as vocal as Amazon's Jeff Bezos, and therefore, let's remember, he won that $10 billion JEDI contract with the Pentagon, and he notoriously said, it's because I stayed out of politics that this deal ended up happening, kind of throwing some shade at Jeff Bezos. So I do also want to point out that Microsoft actually has not responded to comment from anyone at Yahoo Finance about whether this partnership and this joint offer from Microsoft and Walmart will actually be happening or is in the works, whereas Walmart has been very eager to respond, saying that this is potentially happening. This doesn't really come as a surprise, as Walmart, I think, wants to be seen as the front runner, even if it is a surprising move. And then lastly, I do want to draw to everyone's attention that even though initially it may be surprising that Walmart is kind of entering this race, it seems like no one is off the table at this point. For me, it's not that surprising given how well Walmart has been investing into TikTok, into attracting the teenage customer. Couple examples here. They hosted a really massive campaign called the 2-Hour Express Walmart Delivery Challenge, and over 3 billion videos were viewed with that hashtag, meaning they just had to have teenagers dance and sing and do a little fun ditty. And it basically was a competition to see who would get the most views, and they would be able to get a purchase for free using this kind of premium 2-Hour Express service. And another sort of component is just this very massive integration that Walmart has been able to figure out with native advertising. And it is one of those brands stealthily that has been investing and been more of a risk taker, I would say, than perhaps the average consumer may think.
Well, maybe by tomorrow's show, we'll have some resolution on who exactly is buying TikTok and where exactly things land. But, as you outlined, they don't have a CEO right now. And it seems like their next CEO is going to be acqui-hired, if we want to call it that, merger-fied into that role. They're going to stick someone from Microsoft leadership, presumably, if that goes through, and insert them as the CEO.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.